So it's summer '98. No, I don't know when this game came out. Do you know?
Not the version I have, because the one I have is the greatest hits
Okay.
that happened.
To be the director's cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Do you remember the difference?
the director's cut, from what I remember, had extra weapons.
Well, I know what in this one you have the original mode, you have a beginner mode, which I don't know the difference, but you have the arrange mode. The main characters have different clothing.
Oh, maybe that was the
And
difference.
the items are different, and it's harder. So basically, it's the badass. It's for the hardcore edition.
Yeah, and I think I only finished this game once because it's kind of a hard game. It has a lot of puzzle aspects.
Yeah.
And especially at the time this came out, this was, in my opinion, probably the best action. Well, it's not even action. It's survival horror.
Now, Jill.
Survival horror game of the time.
Did we set the game?
No. It's Resident Evil for the PS1.
Yeah.
And it's in my opinion the best survival horror game to have ever come out, and still
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
To this day, still be very good.
I prefer the GameCube edition because of the remake of the graphic, but
But it's still the first one you like.
I really like the fourth one because
I
it's
know
a
you'd say that.
it's a different from the series. Well, because in this one, I find that you don't need to be afraid of dying because you're gonna die a lot of times, and you don't have checkpoints. That's why I don't like. That's why in the fourth one, even if you die, because there's a puzzle, there's huge enemies, you have checkpoint now. So that's the only thing. I would say if you have checkpoints for that one, it would be a better game.
No, well, this is for the real gamers, the
I know.
hardcore ones.
I know it's for the hardcore one, but I thought it came out in '98, but I was wrong. It came out in March
96.
'96.
Maybe the director's cut was in '98.
I think no, I said that because the video in the beginning, it says it's a Raccoon Forest '98.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's fun. That is the beginning is actual. Not gameplay, but videos, like shot with real actors. It's cheesy. It's not very good, but for the time, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Even now, it holds pretty good.
Barry?
And
What I like is that this is probably the first Resident Evil. Well, it is the first, but it's the one that kind of set the tone for at least the next 3 or 4. I'm counting Code Veronica in that, and maybe Nemesis. But then I think they kind of got away from the whole zombie thing in Resident Evil 4, and now Resident Evil 5 will come out. It's no longer zombies. It's more like a virus that's going around, and there's still people. And that's why maybe I don't like the fourth as much, because it's not a zombie movie anymore. It's not that zombie thriller. It's just like a scary movie. So that's maybe one of the reasons. And the other reason was, in this Resident Evil, there aren't as many zombies coming, so when you find one, it's actually scary, because they take a lot of bullets to kill, and your bullets are scarce.
Okay.
Whereas in the fourth, you pretty much see enemies everywhere, and your objective is to kill more than it is to run.
Yeah.
So that's why, and the famous dog scene is from this game, where they burst through the windows, and I think probably the first time anybody's ever jumped at a video game is probably that moment in time.
I don't know if I would jump in that game. Well, maybe I don't know. I really remember the first time when you start from in the mansion, and you heard a bullet, a shot, and you see the cutscene of the zombie turning at you. I don't know if you remember at the very beginning. That's what I really remember from it. And I did play this game on PS3 for this review, and I'm actually surprised how it still holds correct. I just don't like like you said, I'm very the opposite of you. I hate that it takes a lot of bullets. I hate that you have left zombies, so that's why I don't really like this game.
Okay.
Other than on GameCube, I almost finished that one. I'm on the second disc, but I gave up. I just gave up.
Oh yeah, it's a hard game. It definitely
it's a hard game, but wow, it's very fun. I just remember the beginning. You think it's a horror movie at that point. And the first time I played, I did not have a PlayStation 1 because it came out in '96. So I think I played around that time. I was at some random houses, and that person had a job, and bought a PlayStation 1 and had the original Resident Evil. And I played it for the first time and I was blown away. And I still remember to this day, which it's pretty rare. I mean, for a PlayStation random game. So it's fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think, like as you were saying before, if they were to re-release, let's say they were to remake this game with the engine of Resident Evil 4, I may like it that much more now. Because this engine itself, the way the gameplay works, I don't think it'll hold up with what we have today. Like we have Dead Space, which is very, very similar to the way this game works, except Dead Space give you a lot more control on. It's a third-person
view. That's why this one is it's a
fixed camera.
Fixed camera. That's right.
Which is kind of like the appeal to me, because every spot or every time you would change room, you'd see it from a different angle, and it would be almost like you're watching hidden cameras in this house and like the residence that this takes place in, which is why I kind of like the first one more than the others, because you're in this mansion and you feel like it's a haunted house and you feel like there's all this scary stuff that could happen, and it does, which is more of the appeal for me than the others were, because as the games progress, like even Resident Evil 2, you're in the police station more. Resident Evil 3, you're on the streets. The fourth, you're in a village, and the fifth, I think it's another similar village.
I think you're in Africa, somewhere like this.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, we'll see Friday.
Just a moment.
We will see.
Yeah.
Because, but I think I'm not counting the fourth one. My favorite of this series is the Zero.
When you're on the train.
When we're on the train. I remember I rented that game, and I don't know why. I think it was only 3 days, and I finished the first disc. I went to the second disc, and I did not have time to finish it, but I did finish because I bought the game after. I think it was my favorite one because it's still fixed cameras and everything, but it's co-op, so you can switch characters. You have more ammo, and you can drop items on the floor and retake them. So I think it's there that the series started to being not so hardcore to be mainstream, so more people can enjoy it.
Yeah, more user friendly.
Yeah, that's. But this one is like, everybody have their memories for the first one.
Yeah, I wish they would go back to more of a haunted house setting for Resident Evil games.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the mechanics for the fourth. If you want to put third person shooting like that, that's fine. But
just the
bring it back to the haunted house where you feel like you're in a Resident Evil, but
I don't think they will.
I guess that's more of a problem with the American translation than it is with the Japanese translation, since this game isn't Resident Evil in Japan, it's Biohazard.
Yeah.
For them, Biohazard can be anything that involves life hazards. So I mean, to them the title still fits no matter what they do, as long as there's some kind of virus. And to the American crowds, they might, especially if you didn't know Resident Evil before the fourth, you might not even understand why it's called Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And this is probably the best story that I've seen from a Resident Evil production. I mean, we had the movies that came out, which were just kind of not very good.
It was good at the time. When it came out, I remember I bought it, was very happy, and I have seen the movie a little bit too much because now I hate. I don't want to say I hate the movie, but I don't like it anymore. I don't know. But for the time, it was good. But it took like, I still remember, it took like 35 minutes to see your first zombie in the movie.
Yeah, well that's like how the game was though, a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was the new one, the Resident Evil that came out recently, that was the CG movie.
Oh yeah, also.
And that was just awful. I don't know why it was so. I think it's because most people prefer Resident Evil 2 and the way that was made with Leon as your main character.
What do you mean the game or
Resident Evil 2?
Okay.
Was more of what people caught on with, and that was where they picked up the series from. So that's probably why they chose Leon as the main character. Also for the 4, but now I'm kind of happy they're going back to Chris Redfield from the first.
He's coming back.
5th.
He is there.
And I think oh no, it's not Jill in this one.
I think it's a random girl.
Yeah, random girl.
I think so. They need to make a girl with looks a little bit attractive, so American people
and African, so they don't make anybody from Africa mad.
It's true. And for the movies, I think the Resident Evil